Yo and hello everybody, Mike here, baseball collector. It is Sunday, the day after the National for me. The show's still going on, obviously through today, but I am not there. I'm back in Texas. I'm glad to be home. Had a great time, but glad to be home. Always good to come home, see my family, see my dog. You know, it's one of those things. I got a good night's sleep, got a full night's sleep, and got all my cards and pickups and things cataloged, which for a guy like me, I'm jones to get it all taken care of and put in to the collection properly. Maybe some of you have that, some of you don't. I don't know. I'm certainly that way. I did wear my awesome 1934 Gowdy Lou Gehrig shirt that I got from Rick Vintage Oddball Cards, and I love it. I wanted to spin this video. I will show some cards later, by the way. I have I have a few things that came in pre-national, and I'm going to show those at the end just so I can put those away too. But I wanted to spend this time kind of reflecting after a good night's sleep, after everything, sharing just some thoughts about the show, about a lot of different aspects of the show and what it meant to me. And it's special for sure. I'm going to kind of go through some different things, some experiences, some thoughts. Let's just do that, and we'll show the stuff at the end, the other pickups. I wrote a lot of notes, so I probably need these, but I can read this. Yeah, got to the show Tuesday. Some of this I've talked about in my other daily videos. Some of it I haven't. But man, Tuesday was great. Got there. We got to go to the show all day. Friends with a dealer, so I was able to get several of us in on Tuesday, which is setup day. And man, how cool is that? Just deals were happening. Dealers were already set up. It was amazing. And then Tuesday night, I went to the Cubs game. Marcel, who owns the awesome card shop in Las Vegas, he had got us some tickets to the Cubs game, and I went with Josh, rated rookie. Here's a quick video of that. So yeah, we had a great time doing that. The game was great. Votto hit 2 home runs. Rizzo homered, I guess, in one of his last games as a Cub. And so, yeah, great time. Got back from that, and then JT and I went to the casino that's local. There's a casino called the Rivers Casino. And we just went to, they don't have poker, which I really am a poker guy. Table games are okay, but it's like 6 minutes from the hotel. So we went there, the Rivers Casino, and every time I go to a casino, everywhere I play, I always get a poker chip, because it's a $1 poker chip, by the way. It's always what I get, because it's a little memento of going there, and I can remember that. And so every new casino I go to, I get a $1 poker chip just for giggles. I probably have 100 of them, seriously. And from the casinos that I've played in all over the world, it's just a cheap memento. Let's put it that way. And we did well. We both played blackjack. We both came out with more money than we started with, which is always a good thing. And had a good time just checking that out. We weren't there a really long time, at most a couple of hours. I think even less than that. Went back to the hotel, did that. A couple of other experiences, dinner with friends, and hanging out with friends. We had a great dinner at Gibson's with Dave Blue Jacket 66, his son Caden, Eric those back pages, Andy, and Josh. And I mean, the time you get to spend with your friends at these things is totally worth the cost of admission, in terms of cost of getting here and cost of going. I think it was Eric that said it best. He said, you can't buy that on eBay. You can't buy the experiences. You can't buy the fun times on eBay. And he's totally right. I mean, if you're here just for cards, I feel sorry for you. Quite frankly, I feel bad because the show is so much more than that. It is making connections and meeting people, and so many guys that I met for the first time. But finishing with the dinner, we just enjoyed just talking. We talked about cards for sure. We talked about just life, And the night before I'd gone to dinner, we went to McCormick's, which is another restaurant right there, and it was like 10 or 12 of us at dinner, just hanging out and talking and sharing stories. And I mean, those are precious times. Those are special times. Those are memories that I really don't forget. And then even on, was it Friday, I guess? Yeah, Joe Silver Jackify got to the show, and I consider Joe a very good friend. We talk a lot, and he has his buddy Jay, who's a great guy. Enjoyed hanging out with Jay. I had a few clips of us going to lunch. Here's a clip that you didn't see.
Our food got here, man. This looks fantastic. I mean, we got sandwiches, drinks.
Good. Really good.
And you're in Chicago. You're at the National. You never know who you're going to see.
What the heck?
That's an extra ingredient. Look at that in my sandwich. That is fantastic.
It's going to taste so much better with a little Silver Jackify on it.
Doesn't everything?
I always get all my chicken sandwiches go with the little Silver Jackify card.
Man, I can't wait to try it.
It's good. It's good. Just go ahead. I know it looks weird, but just go ahead.
Man, I can't wait to eat you, Joe.
So yeah, every sandwich is better with a little Silver Jackify. No, we just, Joe and I have so much fun thinking up really stupid stuff to do. And we think it's funny. Maybe you think it's funny. Maybe you think it's stupid, or both. It could be both funny and stupid. But we have a really good time together. He's one of my favorite guys just to walk around the show with. Joe was the most ill-prepared man for the National that I've ever seen. It was good. It was fantastic. I don't have any cash. I don't have. Oh my gosh. Have you not listened to any prep videos by anyone ever about the show? Love you, Joe. It was awesome. Let's talk about buying experiences a little bit. Lots and lots of transactions that happened that I did. But I'll tell you, probably 3 times as many things that I walked away from. Probably more than that in terms of a multiple. Cards I actually bought versus cards I looked at, talked to the dealer about, etc. I walked away more on this show than I ever have in terms of not being able to come to a price that I was comfortable with. I ultimately got the card, which is great, but I just walked away a ton. Dealers were negotiable, but not as, I don't know how to say it. Let's see. Not as flexible as I thought they would be. Now, the hobby has a lot to do with that. The state of the hobby, how much heat is in the hobby. I'm having a hard time articulating here, but that's all right. But I'll tell you, even with all of that, even with the way the dealers were pretty tight on their prices, I still didn't pay sticker for a single card. And I will tell you, if you're going to any show, not just the National, but really any show, if you pay sticker for the card, you're the sucker. You can negotiate everything. I was talking to a guy when I was waiting in line for PSA. Again, I can't remember which stories I've told, which stories I haven't. But he wasn't a YouTuber or anything. He was just a guy, and we were just standing in line. And so we were picking up. It was when I was picking up my cards. That's the only time I had to stand in line at PSA. But it wasn't long. He was talking about the show and his experience, and man, I saw some cards for really good price, and I was just paying sticker. And I told him, man, I told him the line, if you're paying sticker, you're the sucker. And I gave him some other tips and things. This was his first National, his first really big show, and he had some great stuff he was looking for. I said, man, do these things, and you will be much happier in the end. Sure enough, I saw him 2 days later. He saw me Oh my gosh, man, you were so right. And not that I'm some genius or anything. These are just logical things that when you get in the moment and caught up in the show, it's hard to remember. But he said he was very grateful for me helping him think through some things differently, and it really helped his show buying experience and everything. And that's cool to share information with each other. That's why we do all this stuff. Really, it's to try to get that information out there so that people. Look, I've made tons of mistakes, tons over my hobby career. Let me tell you, the idea is to help people avoid the same mistakes. Try to do it with our kids, and they still make the same mistakes. And honestly, making mistakes is valuable lessons that we learn from and help shape the way we are. So there's making mistakes is okay as long as you learn something from it. But why not just avoid the mistake altogether if you can? That's ideal. But we're all going to make mistakes. I've made plenty again. But it was interesting, the dynamic at the tables, to see so many people. The show was honestly too busy. It's great that the hobby's growing and great that so many people came, but the show was too busy because there would be times I would have to physically look over, good grief, to even see the table. And then if you saw a card you might be interested in, you're going to be in line 3 or 4 people deep a lot of times to ask that dealer about that card, especially during the really busy times. That was mildly annoying. It's part of it. But what that does is it wastes floor time. And floor time is valuable time. There's only so many hours the show is open, and maybe even so many hours that you can stand to be in there because you're physically just exhausted and whatnot. So to be able to move quickly, to make a decision quickly, yes, this is possible. No, it's not. Move on. If it's possible, take the time to work out a deal. But the 3 to 4 deep, lots of guys with trying to sell, trade, which means the dealer's taking time to look up comps and they don't know what it's worth. And so that's just a lot of time that is, I think, it's frustrating. Can't do anything about it. It's not like I'm sitting here having a lot of answers for that, but it was interesting. And then the whole, again, didn't pay sticker for anything. That was great. All that. Next is the social aspect. I talk about going to the game and going to the casino and going to dinner with my buddies and all of that stuff. It is so cool. We had 2 different YouTube get-togethers. One on Thursday at Embassy Suites with dozens of people. One on Friday at the Lowe's Hotel with, again, dozens of people. Both of which are great for guys to mingle and talk and share stories, just like dinners, but on a bigger scale, and have a few drinks and kind of kick back and relax a little bit. Those are so much fun. All the people I got to meet from those, I'm just so grateful to do that. Both the other fellow content creators, people that don't create content and just watch. Everybody was great. Everybody was great. You might have differences about opinions on the world or life or cards or this hobby or whatever, but at an event like this, it allows people to kind of come together and just hang out and be cool with each other. Everybody's cool. Seriously, it was a great time. Both of those get-togethers. At the second one, again, if you go to those shows, if you go to the National and you can't find something to do at night now, then again, that's on you. If you want to just go home, go to your room and go to sleep, that's fine. I would completely understand. But there are so many things to do and to engage in after hours, way more than anything before. It used to be, you go to dinner, maybe have a drink or two in the bar, and then go to sleep. Not true. We're trade nights going every night at multiple hotels all over the place. I did a video that was great on a couple days ago on the one at Lowe's on Friday night. It was crazy. Hundreds and hundreds of people. Little mini card shows at all these hotels, not including the ones that are coordinated like Ryan's and Blake Jameson's on Thursday night. Were just popping up. There was a guy in his Corvette out front of the Lowe's Hotel selling cards out of the passenger side door of his Corvette with a big monster box of stuff. I kid you not. Like, you can't make this stuff up. It was crazy. And so that is totally different. It shows the evolution of the hobby. It shows where we're going as a hobby. Is the hobby dead? No. Hobby's not dead. Is it different? 100% different. And that's good. Things need to evolve. Things need to get more attractive to the younger crowd. And if they love the wheeling and dealing and all that kind of stuff, I love the chilling and having a beer. They love that. Good. Great. We can all coexist. That was all going on right next to each other. There were the old dudes having a beer and chilling out, and the younger guys out going crazy, wheeling and dealing. That's great for the hobby. It's good for the hobby. On Friday, I think it was Friday, the days really run together. I did a video with, like, a whole afternoon I spent with Matt, who does the pull series for us over on Bench Clear Media. And we went around to all these different things that we wanted to try to capture a bunch of different stuff from the show. I had a great interview with Peter from SGC. I had a nice little talk with Ryan, Card Collector 2, some dealers, some other collectors, kind of sharing some thoughts. If you haven't watched that video on Bench Clear, Matt's amazing in terms of his editing skills and just putting a story together. He's really, really good at that. That's over on Bench Clear Media. I'll put a link to it down below to that video. If you haven't seen it yet, I encourage you to go watch it. It was a lot of fun doing that with Matt and hanging out with Matt and his boys. They had never been to a national, so this was his first time. And wow, it's again, the first timers are so much fun to be with because you're like a little kid, right? You get to relive your first experience through their eyes. And they're like kids, and it's so fun. Speaking of walking around with guys like I talked about with Joe and Andy and Eric and all my friends, just Josh, Andrew, Nolan, you can't name them all, but getting to see them pick up cards that they love and helping them make decisions and looking at multiple cards. You saw some video of that in my previous videos, but that is just way fun. Because especially for me the last few days, I'd kind of made all the purchases I wanted to make. So I was like, hey, let me walk around with you. Let's see what you want to find. And helping them either make decisions good way or bad way, not bad way in terms of like, hey, don't do that. Because all of us, when we're making a purchase, and this happened to me, guys were helping me the same way earlier in the week, we get emotional about that decision. We get emotional about, man, I really want this. Am I making the right call? Is it ever bad to buy a baseball card? Probably not, but you might get you might pay more than you really need to if you make an emotional decision. So those other people take that out of it. They bring the element of not being emotionally invested in that decision, and that really, really is awesome. And so that was happening all the time with everybody. Hey, come over here, I need some help. It happened a lot. So let me make sure I've covered all my stuff. I think I have. So the last thing I want to talk about is it worth it? Is the experience worth it? People say it costs a lot to go. Yep, it can. For some people that's difficult, getting off work or arranging it with their family. They got a lot of other stuff going on. I will tell you, and I never regret going. I guarantee you I would regret not going. And so if you have any inkling to want to go to a show like this, or the Dallas show, or the Chantilly show, or wherever, make it a point to go. The National is one of a kind, though, I'll tell you. The National is way different than Dallas, way different than any other show I've been to. It's very unique because it's this total confluence of all the different worlds that are out there in the hobby, in the environment and world that we live in 2021. And next year it'll be different in 2022, depending on what's going on in the hobby. It'll be a confluence of all of those things that are happening. I don't know what it's going to be like, but I know it's going to be awesome. And if there's any way that you feel like you want to go to the National in 2022, you need to start thinking about that and make sure that you go. For sure, if you can. It is fantastic. So that's just some thoughts that I had. I just wanted to, again, while everything was fresh, time kind of makes memories good. I had a hard time even now remembering everything that I did. Even in the moment, you forget because there's just so much going on. It's information and experience overload in the best possible way. So let me get through these pickups. There's actually some cool stuff and some just regular stuff. But hold on one second. I'll run through that. Let you guys have the rest of your day. Thanks for watching. Thanks for everything this week, everybody. Keep collecting. All right. Quick. Hopefully, I'm going to run through these because there's not a lot of. All right. And I bumped the camera and everything. Gallery of Stars, Donruss. This is from Triple Play, 1993. This is another Dick Perez Master World whatever item. And I got this cheaper. I saw Dawson was signing at the National. I thought about getting this card signed at the National. And then I found one on eBay cheaper than even his price to sign, much less the time and effort it would have taken. So I just bought it. That's kind of, yep, that makes sense. So got that. I picked up another Project 70 card. This one I actually bought from Topps. And pull it out of the plastic here. And I got the Ermsey Trout. And I'm going to try to pick up as many Ermseys as I can, just whenever they come out. I love this one, the old Atom Bomb in the middle. This is just, I think, brilliant. I absolutely love it. Looking like an old garbage pail kid. Or, yeah, that's what those are. And then I got a care package from George, Diamond Yard Sports Card, great friend of mine. He couldn't be at the show, but he sent me a note. And he had a few cards that I wanted to buy from him, and then he threw in a couple extras, which is great. He said, thanks for reaching out. Hope you enjoy these. Rookie cards of 2 awesome future Hall of Famers. Keep up the good work. And give my best to everyone at the National. Again, this was pre-National. Have a beer for me. I did, George. I had several for you and several for everyone else. But he had gotten a recent PSA submission back. And there were two cards in there that I went, oh, I'd like one of those. So we worked out a deal. One of them was this 2001 Fleer Tradition Ichiro rookie in a very fine 9. Nothing's wrong with a 9. Love it. And also the Albert Pujols in a very fine 9. Love them. He also sent me some extra cards. I'll show these. Just fan them out here. He sent me a couple of 90 Topps Nolan Ryans and then a Ichiro Heritage. Those are awesome. Thank you, George, for doing the deal. Appreciate it. Next up, just a few slabs and then we'll be done. A 1983 Topps Joe Morgan for the 4-decade set. Super cheap card. Another cheapie is this one right here, a Mint 9 Alan Trammell 82 Topps. If you notice the slab is cracked here, it was actually disclosed that it was cracked, and I didn't care because I paid $6 shipped for this. So someday I can get it reholdered once the reholder costs come down. But for $6, I'll take it just to have the card. I also got a 78 Topps Whitey Herzog manager card, 4-decade purchase. I got this beautiful 1974 Topps Lou Brock. So late in his career, on his way to 3,000 hits, on his way to being a Hall of Famer, Lou Brock, when he retired, all-time stolen base king. Beautiful near mint 7 on this one. So that's it. Tried to be quick. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. And again, I'll tell you to keep collecting.